Hello and welcome back to another community update for the Rogue Prince of Persia. This time around we'll be talking about the art direction of the game. This includes a bit of a dive into the absolutely banging soundtrack and who's behind it, and we'll also dive into the animated trailers too. But first, let's start with the art of the game itself. Since the Prince of Persia game is above all an epic and adventurous tale, the team was inspired by old Persian miniatures that were often used to illustrate books of Persian tales and are often said to have a dreamlike quality. The Rogue Prince of Persia is a tale that someone is recounting. At the very beginning of the game, there is a narrator saying exactly this. So it already seemed to be a good fit. Battle scenes, myths and legends were the main scenarios depicted in these miniatures, so that was another tick in the box. On top of that, the painters were often supported financially by the royal family, and this is a game about a Prince of Persia, so for us that sense of nobility seemed to be a natural fit for the game too. When discovering those Persian miniatures, we were all charmed by how bright and colourful they are. The use of clean colours, which you can clearly see in our art direction, were captivating. But these pieces of Persian art, while beautiful, don't have much sense of depth and are quite busy. When you're playing a game, even a 2D one, you need to be able to distinguish the foreground, background and gameplay elements. So, to counter this, and also probably because we have mostly French people in the team, we also drew heavy inspiration from Franco-Belgian bande dessinée artists. Bande dessinée essentially means graphic novel. Obviously, there isn't one style for all these artists. There are a wide variety of schools and styles, and everyone is unique. Even a single artist will change their style between different projects. But we can say that the sci-fi fantasy work of Moebius, the pseudonym of Jean Giraud, was a big inspiration in particular. His work also used vivid colours, like the Persian miniatures, with clean lines that are occasionally broken, giving it a distinct style. Epic backdrops framed central characters with unusual colours, inspiring your imagination to run riot and lending another dreamlike quality to the image. This was particularly inspiring to us as the game's story is a dreamlike myth. The prince has Ebola which takes him back in time every time he dies, and he needs to save his country from an invasion that's using a dark magic that corrupts those who use it. It's not exactly grounded in reality. Of course, working on the Prince of Persia IP also means that we're going to draw inspiration from the series, and you'll see the impact of every entry in the series on our game, from the rotoscoped sprites of the 1989 version and its purple-skinned prince, to the classic Sands of Time and beyond. Put this all together and you end up with a unique visual identity of the Rogue Prince of Persia, and it's one that we're proud of. So now that the art direction is finished, let's go into another immensely important element of video games, the soundtrack. We really wanted to pay respect to ancient Persian music styles, but with a modern, urgent twist that would fit the action platforming gameplay. The idea was to make you feel immersed in the world our artists have created, but to also have a beat always driving you forward, just as the prince cannot rest until he has saved Persia. We were a bit stumped here because, let's be honest, that's quite a niche request. But then Johan, who was working on the music for Dead Cells with us at the time, mentioned Persian trap. Curious, we turned to Google, as you do, and an artist called Asadi popped up. From the first listen, we knew it could only be him. Asadi is a Persian-American electronic music producer and artist with a unique sound, using a wide array of traditional Persian instruments such as the setar, the tar and the daf. Asadi expertly blends the unique melodies he creates with electronic, hip-hop and trap influences. The result is inspiring. Let's have a listen. Asadi has tailored each track to fit perfectly into its own level, whether that's the heavy oppression of the Tower of Oblivion, the tranquility of the Oasis, or the pulsating boss fight against Barud the Unstoppable. Without his efforts and enthusiasm, the Rogue Prince of Persia would be much, much poorer. Last but definitely not least, he also worked to elevate our animated trailers to a whole new level. And yes, I said trailers plural, because there's one you still haven't seen yet. Speaking about the trailers, let's talk a little bit about how the animation studio La Cachette brought the prince to life. La Cachette are the talented studio behind the animation of the award-winning series Primal, the series where a dinosaur and a caveman team up to kick ass and take names. So you can see why we wanted to bring them onto our project. They've also made episodes for Love, Death and Robots, Star Wars Visions and more. So we were pretty confident in their ability to make us some amazing character-based trailers, and they definitely delivered. They've already helped us to show you a prince who is highly skilled in acrobatics and combat, and who will stop at nothing to stop the Hun invasion of his beloved Persia, who can't stop himself from helping anyone in need of aid, bound by his duty to protect his people. Combined with Asadi's stirring compositions, these trailers reflect the headstrong yet caring hero you will discover in the game. So that's about it. I hope this has given you a better idea of our inspirations and how much care we've put into this version of the prince and the game itself. And we're all extremely excited to be working on our own entry into this iconic video game series, and we're extremely excited to share it with you all.